Hey everyone, it's that time of year again. This will be the third year I have done the 31 Days of Horror Challenge. So for those that don't know, I watch a horror movie every day in October and I do an art piece with it. I can't stand sketchbook tours that take too long, so let's get into it. First up, we have The Beyond, which is an awesome film by Fulci, an Italian horror director. Check it out if you haven't. You'll notice in this that some of these are going to be loosely presented because they have already been shipped and sold. Up next, we got Possum. It is a really cool horror movie that is kind of I would say artsy. It has a really cool, deep meaning into it, though, with healing from trauma and facing things of that nature. I would definitely check it out. It's pretty creepy. It's deserving of a few watch throughs. Then we've got Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Me Tai Doti Walker. That was a fun one. It's nice to see the stories in that book come alive. So it's a fun watch. Check it out. Up next, we got a movie that you probably haven't heard of called Resolution. It was extremely tense. It was pretty cool. It has one of those weird endings where you're like, nah, but it's still worth the watch. Then we have Atrium. This movie actually kind of gave me the chills. Again, it's one of those where it's really good and you see where they're going with it. And it's worth the watch, but the ending is, again, not so great. A classic everyone loves, we got Monster Club featuring Vincent Price and some other legends. Definitely check this out. It's a fun one that is fun to watch every year around Halloween. Next, this is my second viewing of this movie, Human Centipede 2. I don't recommend you watch this movie just because it's probably the hardest movie I've ever had to sit through. It is not like the first one, y'all, for real. This main character is cringeworthy, and you might have to stop the movie halfway and go take a shower, maybe go to church. I don't recommend it, but if you think you up for it, go ahead. Up next, we've got a classic, The Changeling, and I'm pleased to say that this one sold. Dolls, 1987 version. This is a fun one, y'all. Such a good movie. Please check it out. I am a fan of originals. I haven't seen the remake, but I hear good things. Then we got Nine of Demons 2, Angela at her finest. It's a fun one. It's got a lot of like really hilarious sex kind of jokes in it. Check it out if you're into that. A classic with Boris Karloff. This is Black Sabbath. It's a pretty good one to watch. Horror anthology. Next, we have Scare Package. This movie was so fun, y'all. There was so many good scenes in this. I highly recommend you check it out. And shout out to the actress for actually commenting on my artwork. That was huge. I appreciate that. Up next, we got Psycho, the original by Alfred Hitchcock, of course. This is always a classic and fun one to watch. Twice Told Tales with Vincent Price, another anthology that is really cool. You should check it out. This is a fun one to watch if you want to chill. All right, let's move on to the next sketchbook. A lot of times I find myself piecing these together. One of my favorites, y'all, The Burning Moon. This was released by Intervision, and it's one of those shot to video from camera movies, very underground, and it is awesome. If you're a gore fan, I highly suggest you check it out. Look into the history of it. I just love movies like this where it's like a bunch of friends got together and poured their heart into a horror movie. It is really graphic, so I warn you. Then we got Trilogy of Terror. Oh, this was a classic back in the 70s, y'all. This scene right here scared the crap out of people. This little doll. It's so funny to watch now though. It's a classic. It's fun. Check that out. This is a beautiful movie by Trauma. It is called Screenplay with amazing acting, y'all. Please check this movie out. It is gorgeous and so much fun. So much fun. I highly recommend it for real. It's got a great story too. Up next, this is a painting that I was commissioned to do. So, of course, I added it in. I watched Jason Takes Manhattan and, of course, sold. Moving right along, one of the best zombie movies of all time, rather than Fulci's Zombie, Dawn of the Dead. We got Flyboy. Such a great scene. That movie's so awesome, too, as far as zombie movies go. You might not have heard of this unless you are a deep horror fan, but this is a movie called not sure. It's Russian, but it is gorgeous and it is one of those classic horror movies that is way before its time. The story is beautiful as well. Definitely recommend you check it out. It's incredible. Up next, we've got Argento and Fulci's Love Child, The Wax Mask. I was a little disappointed in this. I think primarily from lack of storytelling and the weird CGI that they put in there, but I don't regret watching it. So check that out if you're an Italian horror movie fan. This was actually surprisingly good. This is the Mortuary Collection on Shudder. It's a horror anthology with a lot of really fun stories and shot beautifully, by the way, too. So this lady gets sucked through a bathroom mirror, but I'm not going to spoil what happens for you. All right. Let's move along to some of these loose leaves. We've got Better Watch Out. It was an interesting watch. Check this out if you like slasher movies or like breaking and entering. I don't want to say too much about this movie because I do not want to give it away, but it surprised me. I also did Phantom of the Paradise. This is an amazing rock opera, such a classic. If you have not checked it out and you love musicals or if you liked Rocky Horror Picture Show, please check this out. And I'm happy to say that this one sold. So good. Hubie Halloween, Adam Sandler making a comeback. This was actually really funny, and they stayed true to the Adam Sandler comedy. And if you're a 90s fan of Adam Sandler, you should definitely check it out. It was good. Such a good one for Halloween as we draw closer to the end of the month. This was Tales of Halloween. This was the very first story in the anthology called Sweet Tooth. Really, really good, y'all. This is a great movie if you love horror anthologies. I am not ashamed to say that I binge watched the entire season of A Haunting of Bly Manor in 2 nights. Uh, it's not scary, but it's always fun to try to find the hidden ghosts in that show. And I really love the storyline, y'all. Get out the tissue box if you're going to watch it because you will cry. It's not really scary. It's more like a love story with ghosts. All right. Had to do this one this year, y'all. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I love this movie. It is so brilliantly done, y'all. It is so good and it's so funny. So definitely worth the watch if you haven't watched it yet. I'm sure if you have seen it, you're a fan like me. And again, happy to say this one sold. Speaking of fun films, I had to do Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 this year. Oh my gosh, everybody knows the infamous scene Garbage Day. There's also a really hilarious video on YouTube if you look it up where someone compiled an eyebrow montage because this character raises his eyebrows every single time he talks. It is hilarious. Check it out if you are looking for something to make you laugh. All right. You know, we got to have the classic horror icons in here as well. So I had to do a Freddy Krueger movie. This was Freddy's Revenge, where Freddy comes through the young man's stomach. Such a cool scene. Such a cool scene. And then lastly, I got to live paint for a show on Halloween. So I painted Michael Myers because that's what you do when it's Halloween. That one sold, happy to say. And then for a bonus, since I was on a roll, I did a beautiful portrait of Vincent Price, and that one sold that night as well. I hope that you have enjoyed this sketchbook tour, and I will see you next year, kiddies. Make sure you like the vid and subscribe, and don't hide your spooky light. Keep shining.